Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome. This is Rochelle with the Healing Rose. So today I thought I would take a look at whether or not we want to use rune cards or rune stones or carved runes, pros and cons of each. All right, so let's start with the deck of cards. So with the deck of cards, they're light, they're portable. They often come with a little guidebook. So this is my Witch's Familiar Runic Oracle by Athene Noctua. If you've been on the channel, you'll have seen it before. Looks like this. Hayes has published it. It's very inexpensive. I think it's like $17.50 Canadian, $12.99 US. I bought mine directly from Hay House during a sale they had, and it was, I think I got it for like $12 or something. It was really inexpensive anyways. Maybe it was like $9 or $10. I don't know. But all right, so the benefits to this. You can have them, depending on how you use your deck, you can take your deck and when you get it, spin it and shuffle it around and mix the whole thing up. So everything's right side up, upside down, it's all over the place. And then you put them together and you shuffle them. And then you can get both the Bright Stave and Merc Stave readings. And then you can do runic spreads, and you can kind of use any spread you want to, right? We can go past, present, future. So past, present, future. Wow, look at that. They're all upside down. Way to go. Yep, no, I mixed them pretty well. Okay. So we can read like this. We can add on cards. We can go, manifesting, moving forward, moving backwards, over here, over there. So we can do more complicated layouts with it. We still have the option to read them right side up or upside down, depending on how we choose to read and use them. And they're lightweight and they're portable. And these ones are pocket sized. So not very big, doesn't take up a lot of space, fits easily into your bag, your pocket, your purse. You can even find or sew or make a little tiny pouch, a little tiny zippered bag to put it in, a little drawstring, whatever you choose. That's kind of a nice little option, right? We have the option to use something like this, where we have stones. So again, if you're going to do readings, you can go in here, shuffle them around, draw one out. There's our past. So we have Dagas. We have Yera for present, and we have Thurusaz for our future. Okay. So, we've gone through a period of transformation. Things are pretty good right now. We're feeling pretty great, but there's something we're going to need to dig a little deeper in as we move forward. No, it's not too bad. So what's the disadvantage? Is there an upside down or right side up with these? Not really, because we're drawing them out of a bag. So your interpretation then is nuanced by what runes come before and come after. And it's influenced by whether or not you're using them with cards. So I will very often take a set of runes, and let's just grab what's here. All right, so I have a deck right here. This is the original Moonology deck by, Clumsy Shuffler. That's what I am. No surprise there. By Yasmin Boland. Oh, God, I really can't shuffle today. Today's not a card day for me, clearly. Good thing I'm working with stones. So we can go past, present, and future. All right? Sure. There's our jumper. We'll look at our jumper later. We'll leave him over on the side. Okay, so don't let pride get in your way. And you can go in here and pull a rune to go with it. Okay, so we have this rune, Otala, which is about our inheritance, our family, our genetic traits, right? So maybe in dealing with family, don't let your pride get in the way. You don't necessarily need to be right all the time. Even if you're right, do you feel like you need to prove yourself to someone? Okay, the present, your commitment is being tested. All right, and here's our rune. Okay, so the gift. Gibu, how are you sharing with others, right? Your commitment is being tested. Are you always in receptive mode, or are you willing to be on the generous side of things? Is it a balanced give and take? What obligations do you have? Like if your commitment is being tested, do you feel like you're not getting enough from that person? Or maybe you've just been taking and taking and you need to give a little more. So it adds a nice little layer, right? Confidence is your key to success. Okay, so as we move forward, all right, confidence is the key to not being stuck, right? Sometimes we get frozen in our doubt and our self-doubt and feel like we can't move forward. So, you know, that confidence, right? The confidence will give you that sense of, you know, ability to move past any self-doubt you have. Know that you know what you know, and no one else can tell you otherwise, right? And nobody else out there is like you. You are your own individual, unique person. So why not go out there and go after what you want instead of being stuck in self-doubt and fear? So they add a nice little layer, right? If we'd just gone with the cards, it'd be one thing. If we just had the runes, it would be one thing. But when we add them together, it creates a really unique reading. All right. And what was our last card? Your hard work is paying off. Great. I love that. My hard work is paying off. Okay. So there are some definite disadvantages if you choose to get a set that is just stones. Reading with them, and it depends how you want to read, and it depends how you want to use them. If you just want to use them so you have a different lucky charm to work with a different energy each week, and you carry that around in your pocket, whole different story. They're perfect for that. Okay, and then let's look at these. So getting a more traditional looking rune set, whether it's out of rune, whether it's out of antler, whether you make it out of Fimo, you know, any kind of thing. You could make them out of metal and have little metal pieces, and then the runes are, you know, carved into them, burned into them, painted on them. It doesn't matter. It could be any sort of material. So we have a flat disc. It doesn't have to be a disc. It could be, they could be squares, they could be rectangles, any shape you want. And on one side there is a rune, and on the other side it is blank. And I think this is the most versatile. You can make I had a mini set that was like, they were half this size and they fit in the pocket of my jeans. I had them in a little tiny pouch and just tucked them into my pocket and carried them everywhere. And those were fantastic. I didn't even need a bag to drag them around. The advantage to these is that they read right side up and upside down. You can draw them out to go along with your cards. And, you know, you can see right side up, upside down, what that means, right? These would be upright and this would be reversed. And so you can read that way. You can take them then and you can do a proper casting where you ask the question, shake it up, and pour them out. So this gives you, I think, a lot of versatility that you don't get, because you can't really do a casting with cards. You can't do a casting with the stones. You can, with each of them, do layouts and spreads. So this one can be more or less portable depending what size runes you make. These ones are, I think, pretty portable because all of them actually fit into this little bag, and it fits in my hand, so it easily tucks into whatever I want. And if I need a smaller set, I can make a smaller set. You know, I did have a set that was half this size, and I had a tiny set that was probably a quarter of this size. So, you know, they really can be any size you want. You can carve them, you can paint them, you can do whatever you want. For me, I do think this is the most versatile. But, you know, so we have our traditional runes in the more traditional manner. Wood, antlers, steel. You can make them out of gold. You can make them out of plastic. You could recycle old plastic if you wanted to and cut little discs out and carve them and paint them. And, you know, we have cards. So we have all these options. And I think really you need to decide how it is you want to use them. I do believe that the traditional form is the most versatile. But if you're someone who's a card reader and you're looking to add something, a set like this, visually it's really pleasant to look at. It is very tactile. It is very lovely. But as someone who loves cards, I do actually love these. So I actually use, for myself, I use all 3 versions of these. And I regularly switch between the 2. When I go and do in-person readings, however, I do read with these because people do, they love something about a rune casting. So that's kind of fun right there. You know, I love doing the rune casting myself. I think it took me a lot of time to develop the skill, and so it's something I actually really appreciate when I do it. All right, so I hope that that helped you in making a decision. If you're trying to decide which form it is that you might want to have or use in your practice, if you don't have a set and you're thinking of like, you know, maybe I could get this, maybe I could get that, buying a set of runes is going to be a little bit more expensive than buying, say, this little pocket deck. You can get larger size decks that are, you know, somewhere around $20. You can get really fancy ones on Etsy. There's some beautiful rune decks that are out there. You know, as independent decks, they're going upwards of, you know, $60+. But, you know, you can start really simple. You can start with something like this, where it's a small little deck. It's inexpensive, it's easy to start with, and has a guidebook. So if you're really new, that's great. And if you have no budget at all, it's something you can quite easily make at home yourself. So, you know, that's another option to do. And it doesn't need to be where you need to have, you know, a little hacksaw and sandpaper and paintbrushes to go out and make them out of wood. You can start to get really creative as you make your runes. All right. I hope that you found this helpful. If you are still here, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And I'd love if you would hit that thumbs up button. That would be fantastic. And if you enjoyed yourself and you want to stick around for more, hit the subscribe. Thank you so much and have an amazing week. Take care.